in my opinion, when the fuck have achievements ever been a superficial quality in someone? To me, having an achievement, having a purpose, having a meaning with something you're doing with your life, that is the opposite of shallow. It is the opposite of superficial. There is nothing more like that is profound to me. So just to me, I just like the warped logic of that type of mindset. I'm just like, what the fuck?
I have an answer for this. Let me pull it up real quick.
I see how it can be viewed as this like superficial thing, especially if someone is pursuing it for a superficial reason. But if someone has pursued achievements and meaning in their life for a profound purpose, that's anything but shallow.
Damn it. Hold on. Yep. I need to get my Google Docs back up. I was like just fucking going over this. So we're going to talk about this. Gamma Quadra is democratic and pragmatic. Like those are the kind of two key traits or values that Gamma Quadra has.
Right.
And so the pragmatic is obviously, profits, what makes sense, what do you get out of it?
Right.
The independent and the democratic is very independent and individualistic.
Right.
So those two are self-serving, right? Each individual is going after their own. Really, it's about creativity. Ultimately, it boils down to the individual's ability to be creative.
Right.
But how that typically manifests is through profit, really, turn revenue. So those are your Quadra's values. Those are not his Quadra's values.
Right.
So to him, it looks selfish because he's only using his own perspective.
Exactly.
So gammas can cooperate, organize groups, companies, communities, but only as long as they're profitable. And once they become unprofitable, they dissolve those groups. Whereas betas,
but to me, that's so undeveloped, though. I mean, I can see where those generalizations exist, but that's only speaking to people that are undeveloped, and like I said earlier, how I can be overly giving. I can be too generous, and I do that to compensate for the fact that I feel like I know that my intrinsic nature is to be the opposite. And that's purely due to just being self-aware, and integrated. And I think that if you focus on your own self-development and your own integration, like none of these things are even issues. And I guess that's kind of also, it just circles me back around to fucking FE stuff, where it's like, he's speaking to people in a, well, this is like an FE issue that society deals with. And I'm just thinking of it in a, well, you don't need to deal with it like that. Why don't you focus on self-developing,
But look at the approach that you're taking.
Right.
It's self-development.
Yeah.
So your approach to the group is still fundamentally the self.
Right.
And beta quadra values are us versus them. It's hierarchy. It's the group. And so interesting thing I found through Victor Galenko is actually I had to translate this shit from Russian. Gammas can cooperate until they're unprofitable, blah, blah. In Gamma Quadra, ultimately everybody's for themselves. So if there's a group, and the group gets hit by a bomb, Gamma's everybody for themselves at that point. Like the group's down.
That's true.
Everybody's on their own.
I can see where that can be
and that does not constitute betrayal to Gamma Quadra. Whereas Beta Quadra, that would constitute betrayal. So it's really just a difference in values as to where the obligation is.
Right.
Because Betas would oblige the others to, you're supposed to come save me if I'm injured, that sort of thing.
Right.
So my perspective on this is that the this sort of these values, the Gamma Quadra values, I don't look at them as a problem. I don't look at it as
Right.
selfish or wrong at all.
Right.
That's your Quadra's values. You know,
Right.
that is the perspective. So I think it's wrong to think of it as wrong.
Right. It's just
So, yeah, I mean, taken to extreme, does it get selfish? Fuck yeah, that's how your Quadra goes bad. You get selfish and greedy.
right.
My Quadra goes bad by being oppressive and draconian. You know, but that doesn't.
Yours is cooler.
We are the most badass Quadra.
You guys are way cooler.
I think that's a huge fucking misservice that video did. Is it's not. I mean, that's not an inherently wrong quality
Right.
in games.
Maybe achievement and success is like why are you expecting an NTJ to produce value in a relationship the same way you would? And why are you viewing it as a shallow or superficial thing if they don't? You know?
Right.
Because for me, and I think that ENTJs and INTJs, we want to love what we do. We want to have meaning in our work. Because we know we're going to be dedicating a large part of our life to our missions. And that is our value, though. That's our substance. So to me, it's the exact opposite of shallow. It's the exact opposite of superficial, because it's not a superficial pursuit, especially if it's produced in a holistic and meaningful manner that benefits the whole, you know?
And that is where his perspective failed, because because he's just getting meaning a different way.
It's very short.
So ultimately, it's yeah,
very, very short-sighted.
Yeah. So you're on point, and I think that is the right way for gammas to be. You know, if a gamma tries to adopt beta values, they're going to be a fucked up gamma.
Right.
Ride steady on a wearable tire.
By the fire and map gas flames of Yellow's truth, I, Pastor Eric, do hereby transubstantiate this work.
Wearable tire. Ride steady. Ride steady on a wearable tire. Ride steady on a wearable tire.
Go to church.
Ride steady on a wearable tire.
Ride
steady on a wearable tire.
Go to church, that made this a funky song.